in this moment beyond time and space. You are in my future as I record this, and I'm in your past as you listen. And yet here we are meeting at this moment in this virtual place. Today, I'm going to be talking about the mystery of time, our lives in this multiverse, and our journey as kalapurusha, spirit moving through time. Oh, infinite, limitless, holy divine, great spirit, saints and sages of all religions and realities, holy Kriya lineage, bless us at this moment and bless us all up and down our timelines, our timeline of our physical body, our ancestors, our descendants, the timeline of all our lifetimes, past, present, and future. Bless this world and all the worlds we've ever lived in and will live in. Lead us to greater and greater illumination and shanti, shanti, shanti. Our mantra today is simply Om. The mantra Om is a seed sound, a mystical syllable. It means both oneness and the multitude contained within the oneness. It's the name for the infinity of God, the infinity of goodness. It's the reality beyond time and space and inclusive of all time and space. The infinite reality beyond all words. But it is a word, it's a sound. It's something we can know, and yet it represents the unknowable that we long for. Chanting Om is an attunement to the divine. Chant along out loud if you're comfortable doing that. Out loud, it's a pranayama. It's a breathing technique. You're taking in a deep breath. We're exhaling out the long sound, as well as being like a vibratory technique. It actually vibrates our physical body. It's not just a vibratory attunement, but it's a vibratory practice that vibrates our lungs and the rest of our physical vehicle. We'll be chanting 3 Oms with the help of the temple musicians across time and space. I'm just using a clip from many, many years ago. It's the first track on the album Mantra, Sounds of Transformation. So here to help you with your Om are the temple musicians across time and space to chant with you today. Time is a great mystery. No one really knows the reality of time. We can measure it in our human measuring ways, but we can't experience it with our senses, really. We can't touch it or taste it or smell it. It's continuously flowing. It appears to us to flow from the past to the future. And we are the kalapurusha. We're riding along on the moment of the now, moment of consciousness between memory and the unseen future. Let me share with you the thought for today that inspired this talk. It's from Goswami Kriyananda's A Meditation for Each Day. O seeker of life divine, realize that each moment of your life is charged with divine opportunity and a spiritual goal. Seek out this moment. Live fully in this moment. For while it is here, you can mold and make of it what your inner consciousness so wills. However, when once the magic moment is over, it passes from your hands to another force. Always remember, it is what you do not do that destroys your divine and earthly dreams. I believe that what Kriyananda is saying is that each moment is very powerful. And I think sometimes that it's so powerful that we choose to forget it. So it's really important to keep remembering and remembering and remembering to be in the now, to be in each moment. I think it has a lot to do with the mantra, Aham Brahmasmi, meaning I am the creative principle. I embody the divine creative principle. You embody the divine creative principle. We are continually creating with every thought and word, intention and action. And so we need to choose what we create in each moment because we're that powerful. Every thought, every word, every intention, every action, everything that we say over and over again is creative. And so what do you want to say in this moment? What do you want to think in this moment? What do you want to intend for your future in this moment? What action do you want to take in this moment? Now, hopefully in this moment, you're sitting listening to me. But each time, each moment, when we lift up, when we put our awareness into like a more wise state of consciousness, we're creating wisdom in our life. When we're saying things with a loving voice, we're putting love into our life. So I like to talk about, having an overarching goal like love or peace or wisdom or any of those things, so that when you are looking for something to put in the moment, you put that into your moment over and over and over again to create a pattern of what we call Kriya karma, the karma that's created in this lifetime. We're creating for our future. So in the moment, we let go of the past, and in the moment, we create our future. It's a challenge, but sometimes people are very likely to forget how powerful they are because it's scary to be that powerful. You are creative. You are creating with every moment. And we need to live fully in that moment because that's all we really have. We can't really create in the past. We can't really create in the future. That's the mystery of time, because we'd like to have a time machine, but we can't do that. We can't go back and change things in the past. We could only change things in this moment of time. And we really can't go into the future and make our future what we will, except by doing something in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. So let's take a moment of quiet reflection to think about the words of Kriyananda's, to think about being in this moment and the power in the moment. Let's take a quiet moment or two. I have a Zen story I'd like to share with you. It's from the book Zen Flesh, Zen Bones by Paul Rups. He compiled a number of great Zen stories and Zen koans in that book. You may have heard this one before, but follow along with me. The Buddha told this parable in a sutra. There was a man, and he was walking across a field or through a jungle, and all of a sudden he encountered a tiger. And he ran, and the tiger ran after him. And he ran, and the tiger ran after him. And then he was right at the edge of a cliff. And he didn't know what to do, but he saw the root of a wild vine, and he grabbed it and was able to swing himself far enough down that the tiger couldn't get him. And he looked up, and the tiger was sniffing at him from above. And then he was shaking, but he looked down. And far below, he saw another tiger was waiting there to eat him. Only that vine sustained him. And then he looked, and there were two little tiny mice, and they were nibbling at the vine. Little by little, they were gnawing it away. Then the man saw a luscious strawberry growing in the side of the cliff. And he reached out, he plucked it and ate it, and how sweet it was. That's the end of the story. But I think, even though you're supposed to meditate and reflect on this, that's how it works with the Zen stories. You're supposed to think about it, but I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I think it's a story about time. You have life, and life is, we're running, we're being chased, or we're running, or we're doing something, or we're doing and doing and doing. And then as we look towards the future, we see the end of our life, the time is running out, the mice are gnawing at the cord. What are we supposed to do? And I think we're supposed to be in the moment. It's really interesting that fruit is a metaphor that's used here. Have you ever had one of those strawberries or any piece of fruit that you taste it and you're overwhelmed by the deliciousness? So I don't mean like those strawberries in the grocery store that sit on the shelves for in the freezer for 20 weeks or something like that. This is like the fresh, sweetest, just picked strawberry, or any fruit that you like to think about. And it is so sweet, it just overwhelms you with its sweetness. The delicious sweetness of that fruit brings you totally into the moment. It's not just a metaphor, it's really something that happens sort of physiologically. You're just in the moment, you're just going, oh my gosh. I think that happens to me sometimes with chocolate. To say, that's so good. But the part brings you into the moment. The physical, there's a physical thing that happens that brings you into the moment. And we need to maybe do a little more of that, staying awake and aware, enjoying our moments. Just the idea of intensifying your joy by going, sometimes when you're enjoying something, whether it's walking outside and getting a breath of fresh air, or whether it's seeing somebody that you love that you haven't seen in a long time, it's like, you lift up, your energies arise and are lifted up. Yeah, we don't stay awake the whole time, I don't think. It's not that you have to be an angelic being every moment. You need to be able to have some compassion for yourself for not being perfect. We go in and out of this reality. We go in and out of awareness. We're trying to practice over and over again to be more aware, more awake and aware, more conscious. That's how Kriya always talks about it, is to stay conscious. We fall asleep when we're not asleep. We don't want to be a sleepwalker through life. We want to be in the moment of our divine power, the moment of our creativity. So I have some techniques to give you some techniques, like, because it's always good to have like a toolbox of techniques of different things that I call like that they can bring us back into the moment, but don't take very long. So we might have our regular meditation time when we know we're supposed to be meditating, and then we find that there's other times during the day we need to wake up. We need to put some positive energy into a moment. We need to keep being aware. And I think one of the best techniques for this is mantra. Finding a mantra that's special to you. Sometimes you might call it an Ishta mantra, the mantra of your Ishta Devata, the mantra of the way you see divinity. And it could be in Sanskrit, it could be in English, it could be in any other language. But finding that and repeating it on a regular basis, it's like putting grooves into a record. You remember vinyl records? I think I've heard they're on a comeback. So, you're putting we put those kind of grooves into our brain when we repeat something over and over again. And then it becomes something you can tune into. You can tune into because it's going to play in your head very easily. And so when you're in that stressed or a difficult place, or you feel you're not quite conscious enough, or you feel that you need a break, then you chant your mantra. And you can do it in your head. You can do it out loud, like we're doing our ohms. You could do it silently. We can do the ohms silently. But you just do it in your, repeat it. And it brings you back. And it empowers the moment. It puts that vibration into the moment. And that can be very helpful to you. And it can be even just an English affirmation, like, be here now, which is the title of a book I read a long time ago that was inspiring to me. Be here now. Be here now. Be here now. But it doesn't have to be that phrase. It could be any phrase. It could be any mantra. It can be any affirmation. It can be, but something that brings you home to yourself. But here's some other good 1-minute meditations. Or even less. So one very quick way to bring yourself back to center is just to focus at the sun center, the point between the eyebrows on the forehead. Just close your eyes, not when you're driving, please, but close your eyes and focus your eyes at that point, gently lifting your eyes to that point, and just sit quietly. If you want to intensify that a little bit, you can bring your hands together like we do in Namaste. It's symbolizing pulling your energies from the outer world to your inner world. Focus your attention at the sun center. And you can do that in a few seconds. And do that, just pulling in. And we can use the breath and a visualization just like Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk, who wrote this beautiful poem that's also a technique. And it's, let's do that. Breathing in, I calm my body. So you breathe in, calming down. Breathing out, I smile. So go ahead and smile. Dwelling in this present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in this present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So he's using, but it only takes a minute, right? You're breathing, you're smiling, and you're intensifying the joy, right? This is, as you're in this moment, you're aware that it's a wonderful moment. You're aware that there's joy and love and peace and all these good things in the moment. So you can even do this and link it to something. And link it to something in everyday life, right? So you can think about, for example, that if you're driving along with your eyes open, and every time that you come to a stop light and have to stop, then instead of feeling impatience, as we often do, to keeping your eyes open, but taking 3 deep, full breaths. Keeping your eyes open. And making that a practice of awareness. It brings you totally back into your moment. Even though you're awake, you're aware, you're not sitting with your eyes closed in your meditation. You're fully alert to the moment, but you're going like, oh, I finally get some time for me right here at this red light. It's my time to be in the moment. And then there's, I thought of one other thing, just as I was thinking about this right now, which is you can link that same awareness thing to when you come into a dark room and you turn on a light, because you're already getting a symbol of like the light going on and shining. It's a symbol. I mean, it's something real. We go into rooms, we turn on the light comes on. And, but think about it as the light going on, but also instead of like being in a car at a red light, just turn on the light and take a deep breath. Enjoy the moment of the light coming on. It's an awareness. It wakes you up to the moment. And I know as an older person that sometimes I have that thing that happens when it's called, it has to do with memory and thresholds, that when you go through a door, you forget things. So like if I'm in the living room and I know I've got to go into the kitchen for something, and then I cross the threshold from the living room into the kitchen, and then I can't remember, that's not what we're trying to do here. But that's something that happens. It means that in our perceptions, that thresholds, doorway, we're all going to something new, right? So you can think about linking your conscious awareness to doorways or thresholds when you go from one room to the other, or when you just open the door to your house and you come back in and you go, oh, I'm home. And you just, you bring that into your conscious awareness. It's a type of, in some ways, it's a type of gratitude. And gratitude is another technique. The technique that you can do in a minute, where you sit down and you, just wherever you are, think about something you're grateful for. You're grateful for the chair that you're sitting in. You're grateful for the space around you. You're grateful for your home. You're grateful for the air that you breathe. You're grateful for, I'm grateful for the technology that brings us together across time and space. Let's take a moment, just especially because we're going into Thanksgiving week. Let's do a little gratitude. Just in your mind, think about things that just come to you that you're grateful for. And we'll sit for a moment and do that. So take some time to be grateful for what we have, and take some time to think about time and the moment and how powerful the moment is, and how we're beings. We're limitless beings, that we exist both in this moment and in some ways across time and space, because some part of us is limitless. So let's chant Om again to affirm that, to be aware of our infinite nature, to be aware of the infinite nature of the divine. And let's just, and remember to enjoy the silence after the end of each Om. May the infinite Lord of life, of love and laughter bless you at this moment. In this very moment, may each cell of your being and each petal of your mind be touched, be healed, be harmonized. May vim and vigor and vitality be yours. May love and laughter be yours. May you find that which you seek, and may you find that which you seek swiftly, surely, and most harmoniously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Namaste.